Hey guys, welcome to the herbal blog at limecompass.net, and I'm here to talk to you about reishi mushrooms. As always, my videos are meant to be educational and not medical advice. And oh my goodness, there's so much to cover with reishi, because they are such an amazing mushroom. So here in Western North Carolina, it is early June, and the reishi are just ripe now. They grow on dead hemlocks, and we got so carried away with chopping that we forgot to save one to show you, but this is a portion of one. And I wanted to show you that the time to harvest is when the red or this bronze color comes all the way to the edge. And about a week ago, or 2 weeks ago, this edge here was like white or cream color, and the prime, most medicinal time is when that red comes all the way to the edge. So when they're fresh, we come and we slice them up because the whole mushroom is very difficult to dry, especially in a humid environment. So we slice them up to dry, and before I get into all the medicinal aspects of reishi, I wanted to share with you that if you are interested in medicinal mushrooms, I really would encourage you to check out Paul Stamets' work. He's a brilliant fungi genius, and he wrote a book called Mycelium Running, and I think he has other books also. And so I mentioned that the reishi grows on dead hemlocks, and a couple things to note about that is that the reishi aren't killing the hemlocks. There's actually an insect that's killing the hemlocks off, and the mycelium moves up into the hemlock, and the reishis grow on the dead wood. But what's important to note is that because of this insect invasion, the Forest Service has been going around and treating hemlock trees with an insecticide. And it's really important to not harvest mushrooms that come from treated trees because they're going to have that poison in them. So we're really careful to pick from trees that haven't been treated. So let's see, there's so many things to say about reishi. It's been used in Chinese and Japanese traditional medicine for thousands of years. It's known as the mushroom of immortality. It's also thought of as the three treasure tonic. And oh my goodness, where to start? It's extremely anti-inflammatory, which for people with Lyme is such an important thing to have anti-inflammatories in your life, and for us that can mean so many things. It could mean helping with our pain level, helping with our cognitive function, helping with our the small glands in our body, because when they're inflamed they can't do the job that they need to do. So the other things I can tell you are reishi's really well known for helping to restore energy, especially after a chronic infection, to restore the body from deep fatigue. It's also really good for anxiety or depression. It helps calm the central nervous system. And that in turn can help with sleep. It really helps with lowering the histamine response, and it helps with allergic reactions, and it really decreases the inflammatory cytokines. So it helps to boost our immune system, and yet it has this built-in attributes to it where we can boost the immune system and have an immune response, but not have this huge overly taxing immune response, which happens a lot with Lyme because the immune system is so compromised and confused. So what else can I tell you? It can really help to restore hormone balance and nourish the adrenal system. And having a chronic infection or a long-term infection is just taxing. No matter how we try to look at it emotionally or psychologically, the physical body, when it has a systemic chronic infection, that's hard. That's the adrenals need help. What else can I tell you? It's protective of the liver and the pancreas, and it helps to balance blood sugar, and it also really helps with detoxification. It's a strong antiviral. What else can I tell you? It helps with leaky gut, can help repair and heal from leaky gut. And it's being used a lot with autoimmune conditions and also HIV. It helps raise T cells. And it's really helping to improve the quality of life for a lot of people with HIV. And it's also really well known for its use in treating cancers. And in Japan, it's an approved cancer drug. And last I looked, which has been a few months, Japan and Germany were having the best outcomes with cancer. But they also are utilizing things like ashwagandha and far infrared treatment in their conventional cancer treatments. So that's a lot to say. It's also cardiovascular protective. So I just want to show you, here are some dried slices of the reishi. And I will throw these in bone broth. I will throw them in soup. And we can also tincture these. But I like to throw them in all of our little broths that we have going on. My first introduction to reishi was when I was seeing an acupuncturist. And he had me drinking reishi tea, which, whew, I didn't enjoy the flavor so much. I prefer it in a tincture, or if it's hidden in a soup with a lot of other flavors, but straight up reishi tea was a bit much for me. But I feel so grateful for reishi. I feel like it's helped me to get off of antibiotics. I feel like this is like a incredible, has all these amazing attributes that like an antibiotic would have, but it's also antiviral, and it has all these awesome liver protective and hormone balancing and all these other attributes to it that antibiotics don't. So this is a reishi tincture, and this is straight up, 90% alcohol, very strong alcohol tincture, and this is extracting some of the medicine in the reishi, but some of the chemical constituents are extracted better from water. So we do a water extraction and an alcohol extraction, and I could get into the whole chemical constituent bit of that. I think in another life I could have been like an organic chemist or something, because I love that nerdy part of it, but I'm gonna try to like keep it simple. But so basically, we're gonna pour off this alcohol, decant it, and press the reishi. I'm trying to get my husband to build like a tincture press so we can get all of that out. Now, if we live in an area where we have this abundant reishi, so I am going to take some more fresh reishi, and I'm gonna put it in my little Instapot here, and I'm gonna make a strong tea with it. But if you have limited access to reishi, you can take the pressed mushroom that was in the alcohol, and then you could then put that in the water and boil that. But because we have so much abundance, I like to do a separate water decoction. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to put this on. I could so do infomercials for Instapots and Vitamixes. They're like my favorite kitchen things. But I could either slow cook with the lid on. I want all that good steam and medicine to be in here and captured. I don't want to be boiling it on a stove top with, you know, the steam going away. So I'm gonna put the cap on and lock it. And then I can either slow cook it like overnight, or I can pressure cook it on even like the meat stew setting so it's pressure cooked for like 35-40 minutes. And then I let that cool. And then I'm going to combine half and half, you know, like 2 cups of the alcohol extraction and then 2 cups of the water extraction. And that way the chemical constituents that are pulled out from the alcohol are there and available, and the chemical constituents that are more water soluble are there also. And then my husband and I and my kids have been using the reishi tincture, and it's incredibly helpful. What a potent, amazing plant. I mean, it's no wonder they call it the mushroom of immortality. It has so many amazing qualities to it. That's a mouthful. I don't know if I forgot. I'm sure I've forgotten to tell you something. I make these videos and I'm like, oh, I should have said that. But one day I'll learn to edit videos. So thank you for watching. I hope that if you try reishi, that it's really helpful. And as always, like, I'm not trying to convince anyone that herbs are the way. You gotta find what works for you. Lyme disease is so complicated and it affects so many different systems, and it's so helpful to have guidance with a physician or a health practitioner that you trust. Because a lot of times we get so sick we can't think clearly, and it's really helpful to have somebody that you can bounce ideas off of. And my kids are ready to come in and have a snack. So thanks, guys.